So when we look at something like this, we say it as f of x. Nuggetizer of animals, f of x. The f, as we discussed, is just the name and nothing more. Just like the name of the nuggetizer is nuggetizer. Which part represents the input? That would be the thing in the parentheses. So in this case, the x. And then f of x, or 2x, is your output. So like the big thing. F of x is the output. If you plug in something to 2x, you're going to get the output. You should know that inputs are your x values, right? What are your outputs? Yeah, they are. Okay. From the last few days, we know that the input values are your domain. What are your output values? Range. Okay, and then today we're doing function notation. So the inputs are x, the outputs are f of x. And we used to do one more line back in the day, and I forgot to delete it. So I don't have anything else for you on this. Okay, we're going to do these last two. It says let f of t. So notice it does not always have to be f. It doesn't always have to be x. Any letters you want. It could be nuggetizer, an animal. Doesn't matter. So this is f of t. Let f of t be the outside temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. T hours after 6 a.m. So T represents hours because T in math and in science often represents time. After 6 a.m. So the number inside the parentheses will be the hours after 6 a.m. because that's your T. Explain each statement. So if you look at number 1, it tells you, by looking here, it has been 0 hours after 6 a.m. This isn't the explanation. I just need you to understand that that's your T for time. I'm going to say T equals that. Okay. It's been 0 hours after 6 a.m. What time is it? It's 6 a.m. because it's been 0 hours after 6 a.m. But what's the temperature? 58. So at 6 a.m., it's 58 degrees Fahrenheit. So now it's 9 hours after 6 a.m. What time is it? 3 p.m. So you have to think for yourself, how many hours has it been after and what's the actual time? So now you can write a little explanation. Any ideas about what this is saying? It's warmer at 3 p.m. than at 9 a.m. Yeah, or it's colder at 9 a.m. than at 3 p.m. The temperature is less at 9 a.m. Whoa. So the top here, it says plug in a number for x to evaluate the function. This is your function. And to evaluate means to actually find the answer. So like plug in a number and get me what the output is. So number 4 says evaluate f of x, that's this, when x equals -3. All right, here we go. I have to zoom in so I can actually write. So remember, f of x is x squared minus x. That's what you see on your paper. So you are going to plug in your input as -3. So instead of putting x, you put -3 here and here. I tried to highlight it. That was not very effective. Here and here. in those two spots, okay? So let's go and write it and put it in parentheses when you have a negative, especially. It's negative 3 squared minus negative 3. Because it was x squared minus x, and negative 3 is becoming your x. Okay. Negative 3 squared is negative 3 times itself. So negative 3 times negative 3. Yeah, that's a positive 9. Positive 9, and then you have minus a negative. If you remember anything from middle school, that means it becomes a plus. So you're subtracting it, a negative away. Okay, so when you input a negative 3, what do you get out? What's 9 plus 3? 12. So this is how you write your answer. What it's saying to you is when you input a negative 3, you output a 12. So I need to see your answers written like this. This is function notation. We're doing the same thing, but we're using 5 this time. So f of 5 equals x squared minus x. So 5 squared minus 5. And what's 5 squared? 25. Yeah, because remember, exponents multiply by themselves. And so you get that f of 5 is 20. And you need to write your final answer like this is how we prefer it. Because that tells me when I input 5, I output 20. Find the value of x so that the function has the given value. F of x is 21. So that is your output. You take 21 and you are going to put it where f of x is. Like it's going to take that entire spot since that's your output. In your equation, f of x equals 6x plus 9. So the first thing is replace. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Hold on. Okay, replace f of x with the output value. It told you that the output was 21. That goes where f of x is. So you write it like this. 21 equals 6x plus 9. Then you just need to solve for the input, which is going to be your x value. So you literally solve the equation. So I should see you subtract 9. Oh, what's that? 12? And then we divide by 6. So your your x value is 2. And please write your answer like this, right? So f of 2 equals 21. When I plug in 2, I get out 21, since 21 was your output value. Your steps say f of x represents, since it's the output value, it represents the y value on the y-axis. So what you're going to do is you're going to go like up or down until you actually hit the function, so the thing that's been graphed, and then you'll look and see at the y-axis what the y value is. So we're going to do A. I'm asking you, what is f of negative 3? If you look at your graph, you'll see that this is x, this is f of x, because it's inputs and outputs. I asked for what is -3. So you want to go to the x value at -3 and follow it up and see where's it hit your graph. Okay, well it hits right here, right? And what is the y value at that spot? You can follow it over if you need to the y-axis. I think it's 2 because it's up 1, 2. Yeah. So the y value there is 2. So you basically just find the point that has that x value. F of 3 is 2. And that's what we're doing. Okay, f of 1 is the next one. So find the point on the curve that's at 1. So my input's 1, right there. And what's the y value? 2. Okay. So again, f of 1 is 2. F of 0 is that point. 5? Because that's your x value is 0, your y value is 5. And then f of 2, where is your x value at 2? Find it. All right. Here's 2. Go down. So I think it should be -3 because it's this point. Okay. Oh, that's a terrible color. Sorry. All right. The one thing that's not on these notes, and I'm going to make you add right now because it should have been on here, but you know, things happen. If you're given something like this, f of x equals 6. So I gave you an output value, a y value. You need to tell me what's the x value. So look at your graph. Where is f of x at 6? So where's the y values at 6? That'd be here. So what x value is it at that point? -1. So then you say to me that x is -1. You're going to have something like that on your assignment today, just a heads up, where it gives you what f of x is, that's the y value, and you have to find where is it hitting the x-axis. So going the other way.